think it does raise valid questions as, you know, Obama promised to pull the troops out. I can't see that that is actually happening. So there always, didn't you just pass a huge bill with a huge amount of money to carry on the war effort in Afghanistan while your nation is suffering from poverty and starvation? It's just, it should be an encouragement for Mr. Obama to carry on with the plan that he promised this nation, your nation, before he was elected.
Well, Birgitta, I agree with you. This is earth-shaking, as you said a month ago, that the info coming out would be earth-shaking, and it's a very complex issue. I mean, I think bare minimum, the media, mainstream media, is spinning the material towards an attack or an escalation of military forces inside Pakistan. And what do you expect them to do? I agree the documents that I've looked over, and of course I haven't had time to read much of it. I mean, I've read quite a bit, but there's 92,000 documents, does show a clear picture of an unwinnable war. And so I think that you have a lot of courage, even, you know, being affiliated as a spokesman for a while when he was incommunicado. And I think Mr. Assange has a lot of courage. I've praised him in the past. I've just been confused by a lot of people that I respect having their concerns.
Well, you had like John Young on, and I am thoroughly shocked by the way he has been using his website just to publish slander from somebody claiming to be a WikiLeaks insider, just from the stuff related to things that I've been doing. I mean, there's a lot of slander about me and my movement in the parliament there as well, claiming, for example, that we are funding WikiLeaks, which is so ludicrous because we don't have any money.
Well, I mean, Birgitta, I think you're a wonderful person and you've borne great fruit, so I was not aware of that. I mean, let's talk about, from what you know about WikiLeaks, what you take away from this incredible information.
Well, from this particular leak or just in general?
I mean, just overall.
Overall, I think WikiLeaks is incredibly important in the sense that there is no other place in the world currently that offers such incredible protection for sources. And so there has been, if you just go through the website and look at some of the documents that are there, you realize how incredibly sad it is how the mainstream media has completely ignored some of these important leaks. And I think maybe this experiment with the mainstream media puts WikiLeaks on the agenda, gets it into the mainstream media to get more attention to what is actually being leaked. I think that is important. I think it is important that journalists in general start to work together, because everywhere you see funds being slashed when it comes to investigative journalism, and if we ever have needed investigation into the big corporations, into the military machine, into corrupt governments, we need it now because we're in such a transformational state, as not only as individual countries but as humanity. We are running out of planet and we need to start to work together. And I'm really encouraged. I am so concerned about what is currently happening in the Gulf of Mexico, and I've been reading first-hand accounts from people that are there, that are trying to do rescue work, and their accounts and then what you see in the media is very disturbing. Because
well, we're going to talk about that after the break then, since you bring up the Gulf of Mexico. But separately, WikiLeaks released key Bilderberg info, and the mainstream dominant corporate media ignored that. So, I mean, early on, I've been defending WikiLeaks and think this is important, but then I get criticized. So I've been trying to really gauge it and figure out what's really happening here. But I do see the mainstream media putting the focus back on WikiLeaks like they're bad from one perspective, and Senator Graham calling for criminal indictments. And then I do see some of the alternative media raising questions. So that's why we've been trying to flesh it out and have a larger discussion. I wish Julian Assange would come on this radio show and, tell us directly. But I know he's tried to be impartial and just release the info without giving his views on it. But I think he has given some of his views, in fairness, saying this shows, the carnage that's involved.
Mm-hmm. Well, it just shows the horror of war every day, day by day, and it doesn't show like one massive, huge killing. It just shows the everyday killing of citizens, and also how the war has been painted in different colors than you can actually read there. I think it was important if this would have just been dumped on WikiLeaks without any explanation, an in-depth investigation into, for example, the military language. I mean, I don't understand most of this language. I'm not born and raised in that sort of lingo. So I think it is important that we have an access to some sort of understanding what this all means in order to draw.
Absolutely. Let's talk about more of what's in those documents, then the Gulf of Mexico info, and the latest there in Iceland, and the film.
When you hear the words water purification, what comes to mind? If it's Berkey Water Purification Systems, this message is for you. Did you know that over 60% of municipal water contains fluoride at less than 2 cents per gallon? Berkey water filters purify treated and untreated water, remove dangerous chlorine, fluoride, and contaminants from municipal water. These filters are powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, making them perfect for rainwater collection systems. From the smallest to the largest systems, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has what you need. With your system purchase, you'll receive a shower filter, a fluoride filter, or 2 sport Berkey bottles absolutely free. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com would like to offer GCN listeners 5% off all ceramic filter systems and ship all orders over $50 free of charge. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY today.
Making the right decisions is a challenge to investors. Are we going to see economic growth, slide into a recession, or at worst, depression? Hi, Ted Anderson from Midas Resources. We all know when a company acts irresponsibly, divesting ourselves in a move towards safety is prudent. When the market becomes volatile, U.S. Treasuries are a safe haven. But what do you do when the U.S. government overextends itself and spends beyond its means? Many investors are turning toward gold as a common-sense alternative to traditional paper investments. Midas Resources has put together a powerful book titled 10 Reasons to Own Gold, discussing costs, benefits, risks, featuring full-color illustrations, weights, and measures. The book is free and can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. Paper investments are dwarfed by gold's 6,000-year history. Discover how gold may be right for you and your IRA by calling 800-686-2237. Whether buying or it's time for you to sell, the book is free. Call 800-686-2237.
They helped to create a new world order. We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
What is a wind generator?
How can the wind produce power for a small cabin?
How can wind energy be stored and used during an emergency?
Can I assemble my own wind generator?
For answers to questions about wind power, visit windbluepower.com. Did you know the wind could provide your family with emergency power? It can with a wind generator from windbluepower.com. Learn how our amazing LightBreeze wind generator kits start charging a 12-volt battery and just 6 mile-per-hour wind. Or see the new Cyclone X2 dual kit featuring 2 wind generators on just 1 tower. And learn why schools and universities across the country utilize our products to teach about wind power and alternative energy at windbluepower.com. All kits qualify for a 30% IRS tax credit for residential energy efficient property. Enter coupon code RADIO for a 5% discount at windbluepower.com. That's windbluepower.com, or call 800-976-0026. That's 800-976-0026.
No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now.
We are back live, and we do need to have the focus on the documents, the massacres, the killing, the fact that the war is a disaster, that the troops are in there being forced to grow the opium, instead of just obsessing over WikiLeaks. We need to look at those documents themselves, and the controlled media has been pretty successful at spinning it away from that. Birgitta Jónsdóttir looking over these documents, I mean, how long ago did you know about the documents before they released them?
Just a little while before. There is actually so much occurring in Iceland that I've had to put my focus on there in the last month or so. But what I've seen, and just from reading, I wasn't particularly impressed with The Guardian. I wish I could read Der Spiegel, which is a very reputable German weekly magazine. I was disappointed with the take of the New York Times on it. It was way too soft somehow and just didn't really get into the grittiness of it. What it shows us is that the war is actually not going as well as the mainstream media and the Obama administration has been depicting for the world. And I do feel, this is a NATO operation. Iceland is, for example, a member of NATO, and we have sent people there. Even though we don't have a military, they now changed it into Peace Corps. But I have been told by somebody that served there that this is just military training. So I think every NATO country, for example, needs to... I do think I am a part of... I go to the NATO parliamentary meetings. And ironically, I'm a part of that. I believe we need also people that work for peace and pacifists.
Being a member of the Icelandic parliament and being able to go to these NATO meetings, what is the sense of Europe? I mean, I've read in the polls that the people do not want to be in Afghanistan.
Yes, and, for example, I really don't think that anybody has a comprehensive understanding of the purpose of this war. I mean, first, many people felt it was like a revenge against the 9/11 attack in the U.S. Then they wanted to liberate the Afghanis from themselves or the Taliban or the opium lords. And now we get news about, and it's been known for years, that the opium trade is so strong in Afghanistan. How is that possible? We heard also, I remember that there was very much propaganda around that NATO wanted to help Afghanistan to build schools and liberate women and so forth. Is that really happening? Is the infrastructure of Afghanistan stronger? I don't think so. So what is the purpose of this war? Let's talk about that. What is the purpose of the war in Afghanistan?
From your research, what is the purpose?
Well, it's about natural resources. What else?
Yeah, it's about opium, it's about lithium, it's about oil and gas pipeline routes. It's
Exactly.
also about being a strategic base to menace Russia, Pakistan, and China.
I mean, NATO means the North Atlantic Military Alliance or whatever, and it's very far from the North Atlantic. What is NATO doing in Afghanistan?
Yeah, NATO has announced in the last 5 years they want to be a global force now.
Oh, really? Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that that is not, for example, the vision of those. Very many people in Iceland are not happy with Iceland being part of NATO because we want to be a pacifist nation.
Birgitta, do you think that this is going to have the same effect that the Pentagon Papers did with finally starting the end of the Vietnam War? Do you because this is earth-shaking if we're able to actually get the information out to the people?
Well, Daniel Ellsberg says that he compares this to the Pentagon Papers, and he is, of course, the person responsible for that leak. He is a person that I greatly respect, and I encourage people to listen to what he's been saying about this leak, and Wikileaks as well. I hope that this will be the end of this war, but I really do also hope that the material that has been leaked on Wikileaks and elsewhere about the reality of war, modern warfare, and the motivations behind these wars will give people enough power to actually stop the next war looming. We all know that they are trying to start a war against Iran. They want to have much more stronghold in this region. So this should be an empowerment for those that are sick of all the spending on military while people are, starving in our world.
Well, I just hope that people realize that we're not in Afghanistan for the different reasons we've been given in the past. How was the Icelandic media covering WikiLeaks?
They're quite positive about it, except, of course, the predictable media. It's always the same. It's this left and right gameplay.
Birgitta, final segment with you straight ahead. Any subjects you want to talk about, the latest with your fight against the banking looting?